and I'm reaching out to you from the media department of the SMA Fathers in Tenderfly, New Jersey. Today we are lucky enough to have Father Herve of the SMA Fathers here with us to tell us a little bit about life as an SMA priest. So, hi Father Herve, it's
Hello.
Great to have you here today. Thank you so much for chatting with us. So, how is everything?
Good.
Good?
Good.
Yeah, how has your time in Tenderfly been so far?
So far good.
Good. All right. That's great. So we are so glad to have you here with us today. So first, if you could tell us a little bit about yourself, just kind of where you grew up and kind of how the church became a part of your life.
Well, I'm Father Herve, Yepie, Abou. I am from the Ivory Coast. Ivory Coast is in the western part of Africa, and the capital is Yamoussoukro, and the economical capital is Abidjan, and Abidjan is well known. I am SMA priest coming from this country, and it's a country evangelized by the SMA. And the first SMA arrived in 1895. So of course, SMA missionaries have worked hard to build up the Catholic Church there and build up the Catholic faith, form the first local clergy among your bishops, cardinals. So of course, then at that time, the parish I came from were under SMEs, so we only knew SMA priests. So from there now came the joy to be part of this family as Christians. And of course, as a young one, I was involved in activities in my parish, mass servants, and any activity that has to do with the youth. So it's from there now came the joy to serve the church. And by the fact that I've been baptized by an SMA father, like a spiritual father. At that time too, you see the priest was like all for the community. The father, the grandfather, the friends. So it was how I got easily involved in church activities, and that became part of my life. After school, family life, we were in the parish. So from then came the desire to be priest, but not for the SMA, it was to help my diocese. So, so to answer your question how the church became part of my life, very young, I was involved in church activities and already desire to be good Christians, the desire to be priests, step by step came, and from there now came the desire to be missionary priest.
Great, thank you. So how did that kind of longing to just be a bigger part of the church kind of turn into becoming a part of the SMA?
Well, as I said at the beginning, I didn't think straight away being SMA. I was more interested in being a priest for my diocese. And then the SMA were so humble enough. They were more concerned about building up the church, communities, forming the first local clergy, preparing people who would take over. But they were not so much concerned about recruiting for SMAs. So it is following my SMA priest, my spiritual father, Father Alphonse Aliara, visiting villages, communities, that I got to like what he was just doing. The simplicity of life, the love of preaching the Gospels, the love also to be and assisting so many people, most especially the poor, as much as he could. So how came the desire? And once I discovered one day that it's not that certain priest, which I never knew before. So the priest for priest. I saw somewhere is SMA priest, so I got to understand what is SMA about. So when he talked about SMA is their mission, what they did, well, at least later on came the desire to be, maybe I would try to know. So I attended then SMA meetings for youth, desire to be missionary, but it was like, go for information. So very early stage I began going to those sessions, and later the desire became strong. And I didn't want to rush to go to SMA, not rush to go to the seminary. I wanted initially to continue my studies as far as possible, and later I can make a decision. So in that process I have asked extra times not to get involved in going to the seminary. So I went, and when I got my degree, is now later came the desire to decide, and it was that I chose to be SMA, and then I joined the SMA seminary. So now to say how things happen myself, I will not know to tell you exactly, because this is God's work. You never know when it will begin. You only realize afterward, looking at back and you realize that the Lord has been taking me around at that stage, at this point here. So it's how my journey came, and I'm so grateful to this individual person, Alphonse Alivan, as priest, who has really inspired so many of us. And through him, I got the desire to be priest, and not only for my diocese, but for Africa, for the world, to go beyond the boundaries.
Well, it's great that it's been such a great path for you so far. So, kind of going into more of what you do, what exactly do you do as an SMA priest?
Right now?
Yeah.
Okay. I've been ordained priest in 2004, so I'm 14 years in the priesthood now, and I'm grateful to God for what the Lord has been doing with my life, and grateful to the contribution I've been able to give to the church as universal, and more especially the SMA, my family. So right now I work at the SMA Formation House in Benin Republic, the SMA Spiritual Center, International Spiritual Year, and it's a very important year in the program of formation of the society, because there that we come for a deep discernment and make our first commitment as SMA member. So right now I serve in that formation house. It's there I am.
Great. So what exactly have you been doing for the summer now?
Summer now, I'm around here to assist. Usually at summer, we African from African district, or even the diocesan from Liberia, we come over for doing mission appeals. We go to parishes, bring in the missionary awareness. At the same time, too, to ask for support for our missions. So it is what brought me here, and I'll be around until August 27th. I'll be going back.
Nice.
Yeah.
So, have you been to a lot of new places through the SMA?
Yeah. First of all, I worked in this community for about 5 years, so I know a little bit the house. I've been here since 2008, so it's like coming back home.
Right.
A little bit home for me here. So, any times where there is need that are being called to go and assist, open to do that. And the appeal is a program given, and you go around to preach and to share about your mission. So yes, I've been going around a little bit.
Nice.
Yeah.
Do you think people have been very receptive to what you've been preaching, or?
Generally speaking, yes. Yeah. You feel that, and you are comfortable to see people after trying to get to know more about your mission, or some even keep contact.
Right.
Or the pastors have been very receptive to welcoming us, and it is encouraging.
Right.
Yeah.
Have there been any times when it hasn't been that way, and there might have been any certain kind of challenges to overcome in a new place?
For my personal experience, all have been positive. So I didn't have any sad events. So it's been good.
So when you go to these new places, and even in the past and for the future, has what you've been trying to get across always had the same goal in mind, or has it kind of evolved over time?
When you talk of new places, you talk of the program here or my mission in Africa?
Both.
Both, okay. The mission belongs to Jesus Christ. We participate to the missions, and once you are being called to give a participation, you can only give the best, and the Lord will do the rest. In the gospel, when Jesus sent the apostles 2 by 2, he gave them instructions, gave them power and clean spirit, just to say that difficulty, challenges may come, but once you follow strictly, once you are into what you came for, there should not be challenges, because you know that you are there for something for Christ. So I have always this in mind, and wherever I go, I'm always prepared.
Right.
Because I know that it is part of the work. Jesus went through that himself. The apostles, likewise, why not me? So these are small things that I will do. I usually not focus. I mostly go and do your job. The work is for Christ, and what you do is for the most abundant. It's not for you. So God will take care of. Right. So when you have that, and I always have that, wherever I go, I'm ready, and I try to be more positive.
That's great. How do you think your personality and your relationship with God makes a difference in your ministry with the people?
People can say not me. People can say more than me. But always to have in mind that, when you are a man of God, you are a missionary, you go on behalf of God. Therefore, you should put all your qualities, talent at the service of what you do. The small smile will not cost you. Even the gesture. So wherever I go, I try to be as much as possible open to let people know Christ. Mm-hmm. And what we do in the formation house for people who come to discern about their vocations. You are conscious about your role as a model, but at the same time too that you represent Christ. So it's not forcing to do things, but it is simply to be aware of that and make everything possible. So wherever I go, I try as much as possible to put what the Lord has given me, the joy of youthfulness, the joy of your being Christians, the joy of what you have deep in you, to enjoy, be happy about that. Mm-hmm. So I hope that will inspire people.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, of course. Yes. Sometimes people say that the people that they serve end up helping them as much as they first set out to help those people. So is this the case for you? Do you get as much back from the people that you help that you give?
Yes. Yes. That's true.
Very powerful. Mm-hmm. So this is also kind of a broad question, but what's kind of the biggest change or impact that being part of the SMA has had on your life?
Wow, great question. To be part of the family SMA, it is a grace for me. It's a beautiful family. When I never regretted joining the SMA, one thing, and I benefited a lot from the Society of African Missions, mm-hmm. right from your formation, your studies, and I'll be also lucky to do further studies. I study here at Foreign University, and Washington Theological Union to do a degree, master's, and doctorate. So it is something that really affected my life by the fact of learning new things, learning new cultures. So SMA have a great and deep impact in my life. So who I am today is through the SMA. And Christian I met all over the world here and there. This journey going here and there is through SMAs. Even my work as a director in our formation house, meeting so many people come from various places with their vocations, listening to their life stories, their vocation story. I'm privileged to do that because of SMA. So SMA have had a very, very great and positive impact in my life, and always grateful to the society. Therefore, really to work for the society, to give the best like I can to the society, give back to the SMA what I receive.
Well, it's great to hear. So, thank you so much for talking to us today. This has been Father Herve. I'm Amy McDonough, as part of the media department of the SMA Fathers in Tenafly. Thanks so much.